Bob.
Thanks, Diane. And I want to say thank you to Ross County, because I did win Ross County. And you know, Diane was absolutely right. This was quite an experience, 8 people in a primary race. And I want to commend all my other opponents. We all worked hard. And it was a close race. And it's still a close race. However, I'm on top, and I'm confident that I'm going to remain on top, because there's not all that many ballots to count, the provisionals and the absentees. And I guess the one advantage of having an 8-way race is on these provisionals. It's spread out, you know, the math spread out makes it to my advantage now. It's kind of ironic. I got into this race because I'm really concerned about the direction the country's headed. And every day you open up the Wall Street or the Columbus Dispatch or turn on the TV or Fox News, and they're doing something more to us again. It is just incredible. I see this week. They're talking about, well, we're not going to pass a federal budget this year because they don't want to put their members in another tough vote. But at some point here in the next few weeks, they're going to come out and say what the discretionary spending should be. Well, I think the discretionary spending should be 0 because we don't have any money. We're in bad shape. And you see what's happening over in Greece right now. You know, that's kind of like the canary in the coal mine. That ought to be a warning signal of what could be our future. You can't keep spending and borrowing and think things are going to get better. And Greece, you know, has exceeded their gross domestic product and their national debt. And the path that we're on here in the United States, that will happen here before the end of the decade if we stay on the same path. And this is a disastrous, it's not sustainable, and we've got to attack it. And my commitment to the people in the 18th District is when we take Congress back in November and take office in January, and I've had this discussion with the leadership, John Boehner and others, we have to do, I think, 3 things. And number 1 is we got to cut spending. We got to get the federal budget, our fiscal house in order. That has to be number 1. Number 2, we have to cut taxes. The only way you downsize government is you stop the flow coming into government. You choke it. And we cut taxes, but the other thing it does when you cut taxes, it'll help provide confidence to our entrepreneurs, our private sector, and put more capital back into your pockets for you to invest. Because I know you guys, our businesses can invest it a lot better than the federal government can in their so-called stimulus spending. And the third thing that I want to work towards, because I've seen it here in Ohio as a state senator, as a state representative before that, is the bureaucracy, and especially the EPA. The EPA right now at the federal level, and of course at the state level, I'm going to make that argument too, is killing our economy and killing jobs. They try to do backdoor things, and the one now is carbon dioxide, regulate CO2 emissions. You know, if they get their hands all around that and do that, we're in deep, you know what, trouble. We just cannot let that happen. Congress has to step up and take the lead and rein in the bureaucracies, especially the EPA. And one thing during the campaign, and you know, one thing that's really great about campaigns is the process really works good because when you're out campaigning, you're out meeting people, you're meeting the constituents, meeting business people, and you're hearing what's on their minds and what their challenges are. And I have a pretty good idea what their challenges are because I've been self-employed since 1978 and run some businesses in a farming operation. And I know the regulatory structure here in Ohio, our workers' comp is killing us, things like that. So it gets reinforced. And what I want to tell you is our business people, our small business people especially, medium-sized businesses, they're scared to death because all the uncertainty coming out of Washington. What's interest rates going to do? What's inflation going to do? What's energy costs going to do with the cap and trade nonsense, cap and tax? Now with the health care, Obamacare, they're just scared to death. And when you're scared to death and don't have confidence of what the future is and all the uncertainty, you pull back, you hunker down, and you don't make those capital investments that you might normally make that might be good business decisions. And so we're seeing that. So Washington has to send the right signals. And that's how you do that, is you get the fiscal house in order, you cut taxes and rein in the bureaucracy. And I think you send those kind of signals that we're going to be a strong economic footing in the future. There is, I'm here to tell you, I've seen there's a lot of pent-up demand out there. There's people that are ready to make more investments in their businesses or take the risk and start a business. And if they had the confidence in the future, they would. And that's how we solve our problem. Raising taxes is the wrong thing to do. Right now, this Congress has passed already $670 billion in new taxes with Obamacare and some other things they did. And at the end of the year, the Bush tax cuts are going to expire. Capital gains is going to go 15 to 20%. The estate tax comes back, a 55% rate with only $1 million exemption. These are absolutely the wrong things we can be doing. And then we're going to have the hidden taxes if they get their cap and trade passed. Those kind of policies are the absolute wrong things we can do. All we can do is ship wealth and jobs overseas, and we mortgage in the future for our kids and our grandkids, and that has to stop.